What is my work as a learner and a teacher? The questions that I asked myself this week are: how do I encourage my students to think for themselves? How can I continue in my work as a learner? And does being an active learner make me a good teacher, and vice versa? To answer my first question, basically this question, what I wanted is I want my students to take the knowledge and the information that I give them and then do their own discovery and have their own learning on a more personal basis. And Shauna from class suggested this website that I loved, and what I took away from it was constructive criticism. We have to give them counsel on what to improve on, and then also what they did well. So as I've known it, it's an Oreo cookie that you give them two things that they did really well, so that's the outside cookie, and then the filling is the middle, or things that they can improve on. We also have to provide a genuine learning experience for our students. So not just lecturing them, or not just giving them examples, or not just having them read out of a textbook, or just annotate, or just whatever it is. We need to have a variety of experiences for our students so that they can have a deeper understanding and a wider variety of knowledge. I also want my students to know that their opinions and their knowledge does not have to be based on somebody else's. They can have their own personal and individual opinions about what is right and what is wrong, and what they think is truth and what they think is not. The second question is: how do I continue in my education as a learner? This one was awesome, and I've also experienced this in my work currently, that the in-services that the school system has provided are awesome. I've really loved them so far, and so I'm looking forward to continuing my education in that way as a future teacher to help maintain my certificate. We're also there's a quote that there are a couple things that I really loved, and this one is from Max Green in his writing, The Wide Awakeness. And he says, "We must learn to reawaken and keep ourselves awake, not by mechanical aids, but by an infinite expectation of the dawn, which does not forsake us in our soundest sleep. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor." I think that's so powerful to what we do as teachers, and our infinite potential for learning and what we can do. I just really loved that quote. If you get the chance, read it over and over and over again. I have new thoughts every time I read it. I just love it. And my last question: does being an active learner make me a good teacher, and vice versa? Does being a good teacher make me an active learner? My answer is yes. Marshall Ganz, he's a leader in public policy at Harvard. His definition of leadership is accepting responsibility for enabling others to achieve shared purpose in the face of uncertainty. That one I loved. How inspiring for us as teachers and our students that we get to inspire them in the face of uncertainty, and we can do the same for ourselves. That as we are uncertain about things, that we can delve deeper and we can learn to understand them more. Teaching is also the best way to learn. I don't know about you guys, but at least for me. Even if we may not be learning content, my students have already taught me so much about myself and about the world and about being an educator. And so I'm really excited to dive into my career in the next few years and really learn more, not only about the content, but also about being a good teacher and being a wonderful contribution to society and our school systems. Thanks so much for listening.